The things you do in the dark will always come to light. Somebody always watching. Lights flash as I take
Yo, it's Girl J. Welcome to all those that are new to my channel. Welcome back to all those that have checked out my channel before. So today, guys, we're going to kick it off with a full album review of Myalansky's Leather Rose. And I'm really excited about this. It's produced by TXRINX, the scientist. And I'm just going to sort of review it track by track as we go through the video. Please, before we start, can you please remember to press that subscribe button and follow that by pressing that notification bell to ensure you get my new updated videos and drops that I release. I'm very consistent, so if you like consistency, you love hip hop, I'm the girl for you. So anyway, let's continue. So before I want to get into the review, I just want to show you this album. It's a vinyl album. Absolutely beautiful. Vinyl is definitely making a comeback, guys, isn't it? So let's just show you this little beauty. Whoa. Okay, look at that. So just look at this stunning album. The concept is nothing short of artistic and impressive, in my opinion. Look at it, it's beautiful. I love the artwork on the front. I love the red writing, it just sets it off. The fire coming off of the rose, the Chinese writing banner there, and the little slogan, the things you do in the dark always come to light. I love that phrase, and I love the fact they put that on the banner, obviously telling you the record company name, TXRINX, and I love that it's got that on there. Obviously the advisory sticker, well, you know you're going to be getting something. So anyway, let's turn this around and look at that. I love it. Look at the dark streets, giving that impression of what the overall theme of this album is. And I will tell you more about that in a minute. Sorry I'm so dark in this, but, you know, we've got to do weather allowing here. Going to get some shadows, and obviously I'm covering myself with the album because I want to make that the focus. So there's a side A and side B. There's 4 tracks on each side. Absolutely wonderful. I love the whole design of this. The styling of it was a joint idea. So Myalansky himself came up with the title of the album, and it was actually named after a cigar brand associated with sophistication and class, and you can clearly see that. The producer, TXRINX the scientist, came up with the design, the vinyl as well inside, and wanted a slightly high-end noir style vibe, and it certainly does that in my opinion. I now showed you the album. I'll show you more of that. I'll show you the vinyl inside of that as we move through the video, okay, a bit later on. So let's just get into it. Let me put that down. So for me, it definitely gives a luxurious fashion brand, a real decadence to it. Absolutely beautiful. As soon as I saw it, I fell in love with it. And that's before I'd even listened to it. I just absolutely love the whole design of that album. So we kick this album off with Dark Whispers on the A side. And it is an amazing track. What can I say, guys? It starts off with Myalansky's deep, dark tone. The things that you do in the dark always come to light. This track kicks off with a melodic, almost contemporary beat. It leads you into almost a space-agey style, chilled vibe, coupled with Myalansky's deep tone from the very beginning. It reflects on a journey from adolescence through to adulthood, and how the path or direction you choose to achieve success can be your making or your downfall. Some of the pitfalls you can face through greed and selling your soul. This highlights that. It gives an example. Myalansky draws you to P. Diddy and his downfall, and how the feds sort of raided his mansion, and we know what played out from that. It will come out and hit you and bite you in the ass, no joke. When you are successful, all eyes are on you, and if you do things through shady dealings, you will be exposed later on down the line. And that's what this track sort of encompasses and talks about. The hook and the chorus is beautiful. The woman's felt tones on top of that, her beautiful singing, and the words whispering. Oh, I love that. Between a hard beat as well. I mean, it's a real contrast, but it just perfectly fits. And almost like it's got like a outworldly type essence to it. Real space agey shooting stars type thing, rocket ships. That's what it reminds me of. You know what I mean? Like, it takes you somewhere, it takes you on a journey, takes you out of where you are. If you're sitting in your room, you're thinking, damn, I'm in space right now. I love that. I love that. And it has that feel to it throughout the track. You get the overlap of Myalansky's hard bars, and it gives a wonderful contrast to the track. It gives you like that bite. It lulls you into that false sense of ease and chilled, laid back vibes, and then that grittiness in his voice and the hard impact that it makes over the track is just amazing. He's stacking money. He talks about stacking money. Like I say, with the Diddy situation, it will just come back and slap you and take you down. You know what I'm saying? So all that you've built will count for nothing at the end of the day. So what you do in the dark always comes to light. You know what I'm saying? That gives a very direct, simple message. Myalansky's powerful delivery, it makes you really think about it. I'm a lyricist. I love my lyrics. This is perfect for me. I listen to it intently, and he delivers it amazingly. He's just got that voice for it. He's made for it. You know what I'm saying? The production is amazing on this track. It also takes you on a whimsical, majestic journey musically, in my opinion. The arrangement keeps you locked in and on this intrinsic journey. Beats, harmony with a deep message. It just has all the components you would love in a track like this. It's perfect for a listener if you enjoy good bars and appreciate hip-hop with some depth. That's what this track gives you. I love the cinematic clips added for effective outro and encapsulate and reinforces the message of the track perfectly. So I love that. Okay, so then we go on to the next track. It's Carnegie Hall. It's a New York mix, side A still, obviously. This track opens up with muffled but distinct chatter, as if you're in the hall, Carnegie Hall. I mean, it does what it says on the tin. And in your mind's eye, it creates a visual. When you hear those sounds and the clips of people chattering, like the hall filling up, it just gives you a visual. So you hear what is something out of a mobster movie. It gives you everything. Myalansky even says that. He says it in one of his bars about being something like out of a Godfather movie, and 100%. He mentions Steven Seagal. I love that. In the corner hanging out, you know what I'm saying? A lot of stars back in the day used to be linked with mobsters and mafia families. It was a well-known fact. Someone like Frank Sinatra was well known to rub shoulders with the mafia. And saying that obviously various stars are at the venue alongside mob bosses and mob families. That and the piano playing in the background. I love the piano sampling on this. It just beautifully fits with as if you're going to watch a show at Carnegie Hall. Spot on. It conjures up the imagery of where it is. It just gives you that, and it's just perfectly ensembled to give you the impression that you're sat inside the hall ready to watch a show and stuff is going down. Myalansky is obviously going to be doing a hit. Well, this is what the basis of this track is. He's planned out a hit on a snitch that's come out of prison. He has to get the cue from his bosses before he can do that, but he's already planted the weapon, which is a pipe bomb that is placed underneath his seat in his car. He's done the usual what you do in mob movies, the friendly handshake, thinking, you know what I mean, I'm going to get your ass after this. It's that pretense of familiarity and friendliness that we give off before you know there's going to be some violence, some death, destruction. I love it. It's real cinematic. It's a real scene. You know what I mean? It creates a scene. And obviously Myalansky is the hitman and executioner of the whole shebang. He obviously works for a mob family. He mentions 5 mob families there. They have to give the cue. Everyone starts to leave after the show. All the crowds, it's a distraction for what's actually going to take place. They'll leave. Myalansky follows to make sure the deed is done. He does a stellar job describing the plan in this track. It's a real tale. I love the whole theme of this album because for me, like the old gangster mob style movies back in the day had me hooked as a kid. I couldn't believe people actually live like that, but it was like some of it is based on truth. Whether it's a movie or not, people actually live like that. There was a code. There's people live by that sort of the loyalty, respect, and if you cross a line, you know, death was the outcome. You know what I'm saying? And this sort of represents that. If you're a snitch, you're gonna die. You know what I mean? You ain't gonna make it. You're gonna be a target. You're gonna have a target on your ass, and that's what this sort of obviously gives you. The whole arrangement, production, again, come on, TXRINX the scientist, he does his thing on this, man. He really knows what he's doing in regards to putting arrangements together, putting the right clips in, putting the right sound bites in, this, you know, just the, I'd say the sort of chatter at the beginning, even the bomb when you hear it going off, like it just gives you the screams, like it's all there. It's all there. It's a real mobster revenge story. At the end of the day, it's showing how it's played out. It's gripping. It gives you everything you would want from this type of track. If you were visually impaired and you heard this, it would still take you to that movie in that place. The description is so detailed. I just love it. Again, this shows what a good lyricist like Myalansky can do, coupled with clever storytelling, can do, take you on a visual journey. Hip hop does that brilliantly, and that's why I love hip hop so much. I love storytelling in hip hop. You have a real talent for being able to get across and conjure that up for the listener. Myalansky, spot on. So we go on to track 3, Air It Out, also on side A. I recently featured this track in one of my videos because I did like a 2-track feature of Air It Out and Bonnie and Clyde, and this is one of the tracks on it. It kicks off from the get-go with a brutal confrontation that escalates quickly into gunfire. The whole point of airing it out is the artillery spraying, shooting up. It's a shoot 'em up, you know what I'm saying? That's what Air It Out is. Usually in a building, but anywhere. If you just like killing willy-nilly, it's airing it out. You're airing out your guns, you're airing out, you're having a, you know, gunshots or raining. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. It highlights that if you mess with someone like Myalansky, his character, it won't end well for you. And he makes that clear. The clips used in this, I love it. Creates a strong visual of the scene overall. Gunshots ringing out, as the title implies. It does what it says on the tin. Again, it just absolutely gives you what you need in the respect of the description and the title of the track. It gives you that 100%. First MC on the track is Jack the Union with his clever linguistic metaphors. Come on, I mean, quick-witted wordplay that he has, incredible. For example, he says things like, I need my rock, my paper, no scissors like Ellen. And at the twist of the bar, he says, I'm DeGeneres one. So obviously linking that to Ellen DeGeneres. I love that wordplay. Absolutely clever as. You know what I'm saying? Metaphors are used so widely in hip hop, but you get it in the right place, it just takes it to another level. I love it on this track. Jack the Union does it absolute justice. Love it. Then it comes to the catchy chorus, littered with scratching, old school style scratching, gun sound bites over a heavy beat. It's a real like hardcore track. I love the line, getting closer to God in a tight situation now. I love that. I love that sample. It just adds another dimension and layer to this track. It hits hard. It hits hard. Along with the piano, either singular or coupled with the chorus. Myalansky's hard bars over the top. Keeps the momentum of the theme going. Hardcore. Gangster, you know what I'm saying? So Cal Sirius takes you out the track. He's the second guy that's featured on the track. Jack the Union, a UK, I forgot to mention, a UK rapper, and Cal Sirius, also a UK rapper. They just complement each other, all of them. Cal Sirius is the last MC to close out the track, and he has a more practical but cold, reflective vibe to his whole. It's just different. It's a different direction, but he adds to it, and he talks about Martin Luther, non-violent like Martin Luther, but my right hand man might just pack a Luger. So that says, don't mess with it. I may be non-violent, boy, but when I need to, I'll show up. And he's talks about Dr. Umar and what would happen if he stabbed him to death and made a mess over pussy, no less. I love that line, man. It would have made the press. Suggesting a more calculated and wise approach to what plays out. I ain't a truther, I'm a scientist. I love that description, that concept. It gives it more traction, and I love that. Myalansky's chorus on this track is hard. Another man down on the ground, cat slump when I air it out, call the coroner. That line all implies that the only outcome here is death for you. You know what I'm saying? It is, because he means business. Once he airs you out, you are done. So referring to some bars such as staring death in the eyes, here comes a grim reaper. It's all like sort of real, like dark, morbid edge to this track, but it's you know, it's what goes down. Mobster land, Mobsterville, mafioso, mafia, family dynamics. It's not all pretty. They may be tight knit. They may have people, them people that are involved. They have jobs to do and they have to carry them out. But this album's not meant to be nice. It's meant to give you that raw, like they say, the gritty tales. It's right up my street. It's just what I love. I grant death wishes like Charles Bronson. Now, we all know about the Death Wish movies. A vigilante goes out killing up people. It's brutal, but we all know the movies, and we were hooked back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I love them, and this gives me that essence perfectly, and I love it. I love the little reference to it. It gives you a sense of the mindset of what goes through the mind of a killer at that moment. The chorus is out the track with a heavy instrumental style, beat and scratching that leaves you wanting more, and it does me, because I love it. I love scratching. Bring that back, man, on more tracks. I know Primo does a lot of scratching still. That's his style, and I love that. I love that that element of hip-hop is in this album. The production on this track is dope. Nothing short of dope. Torino the Scientist, come on. The input he puts on here just showcases his talent as a producer. 100%. This track is definitely thought-provoking and bone-chilling, almost, with its perspective on gun violence and death. It's a brutal and stark reminder of the life of a mobster, should you choose to go down that route and get yourself tangled up with that lifestyle. And it's part of the culture. It's just part of that culture. It ain't pretty, it's ruthless. No mercy, 100% of the time, is shown. You're going to do things that, you know, it's going to put you in jail or you're going to die over. That's the artistic creativity of an album like this. And he says at one point, this ain't just rap, kid, I'm dangerous. We go on to track 4, Bonnie and Clyde, also on side A. I'm partial with this because I love this track. As much as I love hardcore hip-hop, also love hip-hop with a heart. And this appeals to my femininity on a deep level. Straight off the bat, with a movie clip it leads you to the theme of the track. The tale of Bonnie and Clyde, no less, but from Myalansky's own twist on it, from a comparative view of his own situation. Two lovers meet in a real gritty way, not gonna lie. So Myalansky's character commits a homicide. He needs somewhere to go and to hide out, and this female in the story, she gives him a place to hide out, and she offers up her crib to do that, which is major. It's a major thing. Their love affair starts, born out violence, obviously, and the deed, death. But she shows her loyalty from the very beginning, and that obviously hooks Myalansky in to what this female is all about. If she's willing to do that, come on. That's for someone like Myalansky's character, you know, someone that's committed a murder, perfect sort of woman that would hide him out and risk herself and put herself in danger to do that. You know what I'm saying? So the use of the Bonnie and Clyde story represents Myalansky's perspective on his romance perfectly. It is just a modern twist on it, obviously, and how they forge a strong bond throughout the story of this track. This type of love is described in many movies and raps as a ride or die. Now that's the type, that's what you're getting. Ride or die chick in the gang culture. It's just those females that will have your back through everything, and whatever you do, they will always be there to hold you up, to support you, to hold you down even, you know. But it's based on real life scenarios, not just in stories, because we know that's what the gang culture, you have the women in that culture that have their men, like Mob Wives, come on, is a perfect example. The sacrifices they both make to support and make each other happy, it gives a real soul and a heartbeat to this sort of, the whole concept of this album. Love, talks about love. Even though they both have an uncertain future and it could end tragically for one or both of them, they still have each other's backs through everything, like me against world or us against the world type attitude. In return for her unwavering loyalty, Myalansky describes how he would do what he can to put a smile on her face. He wants to give her the finer things in life, trips, expensive things, jewellery, clothes, etc. The lifestyle he feels she deserves for everything that she gives to him. You know, the risk is high, but so is the reward, in the opinion of someone that lives this type of lifestyle. The money, you know, the finer things, the going out on boats, you know, living that high lifestyle, that jet set lifestyle that you can get from crime. You know, just how it is. It is what it is. And it reminds me a little bit of the mentality of All I Need, when Method Man and Mary J, that iconic track, when he talks about a similar thing. His woman is down for him for whatever. Obviously it has that clip in it as well, so it brings you that element, down for whatever. You know what you're getting with this track. Scarface is one of my favourite movies, and obviously this gives me that essence, and I love that. So he commits more crimes, he risks everything for his woman. She's witnessing being tortured, but still sticks by her man, you know what I'm saying? There's tale of love and loyalty here through adversity. And even with the uncertainty of their future, they just have each other's backs. It's a real gangster and a gentleman feel. It's a vibe, a love that can conquer all in their minds and can soften the most hardened criminal. Come on, or gangster. Love could be downfall, boy. You know what I'm saying? It can. Once that penetrates your heart, boy, it's hard. Anyone, unless you literally don't have a heart, will understand this. I'm so glad this track is on the album. It gives you a little sweetener. It just adds another layer of depth and soul It gives you a break from the grittiness of the overall bleak themes at times on this album. It's wonderfully executed on each track by Myalansky, but this just lets you pause for a moment and connect with the humanity of the characters, and I love that. Well done, Myalansky. Did your thing. Anyway, we're going to move on now to side B. Carnegie Hall HK mix. I'm assuming it's Hong Kong mix. The album got the Chinese writing. That's what I'm assuming it is. Hong Kong. This mix is just as good as the original Carnegie Hall New York mix, and it has the same vibes, got the same piano playing, the same momentum, canned scream clips, cinematic tension, and it builds you up for the hit on the snitch. Same exactly, same bars, it's just slightly different production. Now obviously if you're got a keen ear for music, you can hear the slight differences and why the mix is called a mix. It's different, they're different, same track, just different mixes, whole point of a mix. So yeah, so that is basically track 5. It's a mix of Carnegie Hall New York, but it's the Carnegie Hall Hong Kong mix. So We Outside is track 6, side B. So I love this track, Way Outside. It's real dramatic with piano again. I love the piano chiming all the way through these tracks. They just add some drama. Doo-doo, you know what I mean? Like, I love the drama. Phantom of the Opera style-esque banging those keys, you know what I mean? They chime from the start of the track, and it only gets more intense as the track progresses. It's based around a robbery that is a plan that's given to Myalansky, his character, by Venucci, a mob boss who's mentioned in Carnegie Hall, New York. So obviously he's a character basis for this particular robbery that's going to be carried out. His delivery, his hard, heavy bars are vastly more aggressive in this track than obviously the Bonnie and Clyde and the Dark Whispers. He's just versatile with his voice. He can make it really hit hard. He's just got a deep, heavy voice anyway, but you can see the softness. He softens it up with certain tracks. Versatility, that's what it's all about. There's a reference by Myalansky saying that outside at a meeting place to organise a robbery with the mob bosses, that he goes into a warehouse, he meets them down, goes down an elevator to meet them. Once he meets Venucci at the destination, the plan is forged, and I'm assuming that was already planned out, but they need to discuss it in more detail. And he talks about a restaurant where his target works, and that's where the robbery or the hit or combination takes place. You talk about stealing. When they get there, they carry it out. They go in force. They go into a safe. Money, he's like, wow, diamonds are in there. Come on. More than they expected. Go to leave. It evolves into that shooting and the escape. It gives you a real specific edginess of an old style Italian shoot 'em up mafioso movie. This is what Myalansky and Woo Syndicate do best. Listen to some of their older tracks. It still has that same theme running through, and this just delivers. Amazing. It's a running theme that they, it's their style, their unique style, and it delivers on this album. Probably more so, because it's modern, but it's timeless. It's classic. And you never get tired of watching old mob movies. I don't anyway. I could watch Scarface. I think I have watched it about don't know how many times. Godfather, Casino, come on now. And even older ones, well older, and like up to the gangster movies. There's a big correlation between the two, gang culture and mob culture, mafioso culture. There's a lot entwined and a lot of similarity. It so intricately describes in detail, scene by scene, the rhymes and the wordplay. It cleverly conjures up the imagery, so realistic, and that he actually knows what you know, is he a mobster really? You know what I'm saying? It just gives you that he knows what he's talking about. He's researched it enough. He must have, you know, he knows stuff. So we get the picture through the bars, the visuals, the sound bites, the samples, the clips, all the production, again, that TXRINX, the scientist, cleverly puts together. For me, lyricists and storytellers can only achieve this on these sort of tracks, can transport you into that place and give you a real sense of excitement, what's coming next. For this style of album, you as a listener need to be taken on a journey, and it's got to evoke emotions, transport you into that world, and this track does that for me particularly. Myalansky has a perfect pitch, tone, flow and versatility and delivery, might I add, to carry off the heaviest vibe to a real chilled out, laid back vibe with a slight switch of his vocals. He just does it amazingly. The intricacy of this album is what separates it from a mediocre album to a timeless masterpiece, in my opinion. You could whack this on in 10 years and it would still hold weight and still be relevant. Does it justice, the whole thing. It's like reading a gripping book. You read the book over and over, but you miss little parts, little key parts. And the more you hear more than what you did before. You think, oh, I miss that. You know, it just gives you more detail as you listen. That's what I like about these sort of tracks. It just gives you new layers and elements and depth to the tracks. You may have missed it the first few times you've heard it, and then again you find a little nugget in there. You think, oh, I don't remember this part of the track. Beautiful. And that's what I love about this. I love storytelling, especially gritty ones that are really like, oh, grimy and dark, you know, that dark edge to everyone's psyche. Everyone is fascinated by the dark sides of human nature, and that's what, like, if you're into psychology, this is the perfect album for you. And it just adds more enjoyment to it because you're gripped. You're like, oof, you know what I'm saying? We're on to side B still, on track 7. It's called Faith, and I love this. This is a real spiritual-esque track, and the intro to the track is a stark contrast to the rest of the album. It just gives you a heartbeat, so to speak, the way I describe it. It's beautiful, almost whimsical, because I like that word, whimsical, tone of a female, coupled with some sexy sax playing. I love some sax at the beginning, so let's not misconstrue what I'm saying here. Sexy saxophone. She beautifully whispers, your faith will always return. And I love that. I love that little intro. Myalansky then chimes in, I was always raised to have a strong belief in God. It really sets a precedent for the rest of the track. Myalansky again adjusts his tone to a more subtle, softer tone, as it is smoother in flow, and that again shows his versatility on the tracks, and whatever the concept or the theme of that track is, he adjusts to that perfectly. Has a real deep spiritual, meaningful connotation to this track. We all need some faith in our lives to keep us grounded. Regardless of the choices that you make in life is what he's getting over. He has faith at his very core. So it's an irony and a contradiction from the brutality of his nature and his character. He still turns to God in his bleakest moments and times. He seems to have made peace with death in this track, and he knows when his time's up, that's it. He's made peace with it. You know, especially as his mortality would be more at risk living the lifestyle that he lives. Of course, the hook of a female beautifully leads us into the track, whispers your faith as well all the way through, echoes it, and Myalansky's overlay over the top of that gives you a harmonious quality that gives you a calming, chill vibe to take you out of the track. I personally love this track, and the more I listen to it, the more mesmerising it becomes. It appeals to my feminine wiles, my femininity, and not to sound dramatic, but it can take you on a spiritual trip. And you hear the arrangement of this track that TXRINX does beautifully. And you don't expect it on this type of album. Most of us need to have faith or believe in something to keep us grounded, like I say, and connected to our purpose. And we're going to the last track, track 8, Mob's the Novel, also on side B. Last but not least, the 8th track, and the album really hits home as to what street life does to people, your psyche, your mindset, your outlook on life. No matter how cold or heartless, ruthless or brutal the streets may be, there's always love there, and people still thrive through all the hardships. You know, ghettos, projects, the hood. People have a community there, and that's what this is about. And how they all, you know, it's unforgiving, but people all sort of coexist side by side, and there is a love there. The intro kicked off with a clip of a hustler, drug dealer, saying, "I get love out here in Harlem," and he's describing the drugs that he sells, and he's saying that as long as he keeps hustling and as long as customers keep feeling it, he'll be out there doing his thing. He wouldn't exist without them, as he provides a service which gives him some purpose. The line, "all the gangster shit that I provide," is powerful by Myalansky. Just sets the tone, reinforcing that rhetoric. The piano coupled with the hook, "word up," I love that, echoes and leads you into the track. He describes it as like a ghetto Quran, sitting at the table with Dons, like a street Bible. You know, it's talking about brotherhood, kinship, shared by gangs and, you know, mob families, mob mafia. You know, they all have a code they live by in the street. And that's what this is the basis of, this track. The very top of the food chain, mob bosses down to drug dealers, drug runners, whatever. It's just how the pecking order goes in this. And they make sure the mob bosses oversee everything, make sure everything runs smoothly in that domain. It's a real concrete jungle. The threat of death is key, but the softener is the reward, the money that can be made to help you survive. There is a hierarchy to the streets, and this track reinforces that fully. And the theme throughout is dog eat dog. The lyrical mastery by Myalansky doesn't sugarcoat anything. His character throughout the album highlights his loyalties and how his active part in all of the scenes and stories allows him to maintain sense of dignity, strength and depth, honour and respect throughout. It is a real raw deep dive into the underworld that does exist, and it keeps you gripped because it's so realistic in how it's described throughout this album. And it is a real mobster novel, come on. It's like just a handbook, and it just reminds me of like the old style mafioso movies. So overall, I rate Leather Rose 9.5, I'll say, nearly a 10, because obviously I've got to be a little bit, I've got to leave room for some kind of, you know, nothing can be 100% perfect, but it's damn near for me, for what it gives me, because not everyone's going to love these types of themes, but then you wouldn't buy Leather Rose or be into Myalansky if that wasn't your thing. And people can switch on to certain things, I get it, but, you know, even people that aren't into these sort of themes, mafioso themes or gritty street raps, whatever, I'm sure if you listen to this, give it some time, you'll fall in love with it. Honestly, 9.5 out of 10. Beautiful. I recommend it, especially if you're into the old school style of Wu-Tang. The influence, you can hear it, and you can hear Myalansky's style, as well as his group Wu Syndicate. Obviously represents our essence and flow here. You can hear it. It's prevalent. And obviously they stand alone with their own style, as well as Myalansky has his own flow and his own sound and his own delivery as well. So let's respect that. If Gritty Mafioso tells you your thing or your bag, this is perfect for you. It's an amazing album as far as I'm concerned. TXRINX the Scientist, production, beautiful, amazing. Put it together beautifully. Jack the Union, we got to shout out. Cal Sirius, they did their thing on the track, Air It Out. Absolutely loved it. It's a perfect combo. They all complemented each other in the whole arrangement, production of this album. The design of it, beautiful. And you can get your hands on a vinyl copy. I'll put the link in the description down below so you can bag yourself one, you know. Before I do finish up, I want to show you the vinyl of this. It's incredible. Okay, so there we have side A. Look at that little beauty. Then flip it over, side B. Look at the dark contrast. Absolutely love it. Oh, let's get that up the right way. There we go. Obviously, oh, I love it. I just love the glistening of it. I love the design on it. Oh, just beautiful. Hang on, let's just get this right the right way up. Beautiful. So that's the inside. And then obviously we've shown you the cover. Absolutely beautiful. And the design on the back. And obviously you can remove that banner. And it gives you, you know, how many minutes each track is. You know, it's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Honestly, get your hands on one of these, guys. Stunning, stunning. That's all I can say. So let me put that little... And I treat this with kid gloves because I do not want anything bent or crease. I don't want the vinyl disturbed in any way. That's going to stay pristine. You know what I'm saying? So thank you guys. What did you think of that review? What have you heard the album yet? Are you a fan? Do you like Wu Syndicate? Do you love the, you know, Wu-Tang influence? Do you rate them? Please give us some feedback. I'm sure they would love to see it in the comments down below. All I can say, guys, is I've enjoyed this thoroughly. I want to do more reviews, more full album reviews as well. So look out for them. And I hope you enjoyed this one. And I hope I did it some justice. I hope I gave Myalansky the biggest big up, UK style, saying this now, big up ever. Absolutely loved it. Well done, guys. TXRINX the Scientist, shout out. You did your thing. Amazing. 9.5 out of 10 for me. And I don't give anyone that kind of high rating. That is saying something from me, because I am into my hip hop massively, as you know. Anyway, guys, love it, love it, love it. Tell me what you think down below. Put some comments down there. Like, comment, subscribe, share. Please don't forget to press that subscription button or subscribe button and the notification bell to ensure you get my latest drops. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day to listen to my long album, full album, track by track review. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it wasn't too time consuming for you, but that's what the whole point. I like to go into depth. I like to break it down on what I think. Okay, so that's just how I roll. Anyway, guys, enjoy the rest of your day, whatever time zone you're in, day, morning, evening, whatever. I've got nothing left to say but peace.